Pastel skies, flowing dresses, and a world where creativity is the ultimate power. That's Infinity Nikki, the cozy game we needed. In an industry mostly dominated by action and grit, here's a game that says, let's have fun, let's be stylish, and let's be unapologetically girly pop. Let's talk about girly pop. What does it mean to be girly pop? For me, it's a vibe, a way of celebrating all things feminine, fun, and creative. It's about embracing soft colors and sparkles. From the moment you start the game, it feels like stepping into a daydream. The colors are soothing, and the music wraps around you like a warm hug. The game says, why settle for gray when you can have pink and glitter? It's not afraid to be whimsical and playful, and that's such a breath of fresh air in today's gaming landscape. Having a AAA cozy game that is so clearly targeted at a specific audience feels like a dream. If you grew up playing Style Savvy or other fashion-focused games, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Those games were iconic. They let us live out our wildest fashion dreams, mix and match outfits, and run our own virtual boutique. They weren't just about clothes, they were about self-expression and creativity. But after Style Savvy, there's been this noticeable gap. Sure, we had some games here and there like Fashion Dreamer, but nothing that truly captured that same spark. Until now. Infinity Nikki feels like the game I've been waiting for since I was 5. It's modern, it's immersive, and it takes everything we loved about those older games and it does them in its own way. The attention to detail and the sheer variety are next level. I think, in a way, Infinity Nikki is more than a game. It's a statement. It's saying, yes, girly pop games matter. For so long, games that celebrate fashion and creativity have been seen as niche or secondary to more action-packed genres. But Infinity Nikki flips that narrative on its head. This game isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. It's about celebrating the joy of creating something beautiful and sharing it with the world. And honestly, that's something we've been missing in gaming for a long time. Infinity Nikki gives us a space to unwind, to explore, and to create without pressure. It's cozy gaming at its finest, wrapped in a glittery bow. And if you're like me, Infinity Nikki probably reminds you of those 2000s Barbie movies, or even games we all loved growing up. I watched Barbie Nutcracker more times than I can count as a kid, and it just felt so magical to me. And I haven't felt that kind of magic ever since I was 5 watching Barbie the Nutcracker. But I think Infinity Nikki captured that same magic and updated it for today's audience. The graphics are stunning, the mechanics are smooth, and the world feels so alive. It's nostalgic but fresh, like running into an old friend who's grown into someone even more fabulous. I think it's safe to say that the gaming industry sometimes feels stuck in a cycle. We see massive budgets poured into online shooters, Souls-like games, or battle royales, many of which fail to stand out because they're just copies of what's already been done, and honestly, that's a missed opportunity. Imagine if even a fraction of those resources were used to create games for underrepresented audiences. Games that capture unique vibes like cozy or girly pop experiences. Infinity Nikki shows how much potential there is when you invest in creativity and cater to players who've been waiting for something different. This isn't about replacing other genres. I love games as a whole, and there's room for all kinds of experiences. There's something refreshing about a game that doesn't follow the same formula as everything else. Yes, Infinity Nikki is a gacha game, and its open world exploration takes inspiration from popular titles like Genshin Impact, but let's ask ourselves how many games like this truly exist that don't sexualize women? How often do we get a game that embraces femininity, creativity, and self-expression without turning its characters into objects? That's where Infinity Nikki feels groundbreaking. It fills a gap in the market that's been ignored for too long. It's proof that you can create a game that's beautiful, imaginative, and designed for players who just want to relax and have fun without compromising on respect for its characters and its audience. And honestly, the success of games like this sends a message. There's a demand for diversity in gaming. Not everything needs to be competitive or gritty. Sometimes it's about creating a space to explore, dream, and just be. And that's what makes Infinity Nikki special. It's not just a game, it's a celebration of creativity and a step forward for inclusivity in a genre that desperately needed it. At the end of the day, Infinity Nikki is exactly the kind of game we needed. It's not trying to be the next big competitive hit or fit into an oversaturated genre. Instead, it's carving out its own space, one filled with joy, creativity, and an appreciation for the little things. I genuinely hope this game inspires more developers to think outside the box, to invest in new ideas instead of trying to replicate what's already out there. Because, let's face it, gaming is at its best when it offers variety, when it gives us stories to tell, worlds to explore, and experiences that stick with us long after we've stopped playing. So, if you've been craving something cozy, something girly pop, or just something that feels like a breath of fresh air, give Infinity Nikki a try, regardless of your gender. It's a game that welcomes everyone and celebrates individuality in the most wholesome way. And for those of us who've been waiting for a game like this, it feels like the wait has finally paid off.